Hopefully, everyone is having a great day whenever you are listening to this. Um, if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter at Black Hippie Lounge. And also check out my website. I have t-shirts and hoodies that I sell. So check it out. Make a purchase if you're interested. If you'd like to be a guest, definitely shoot me a DM, message, email. My email is blackhippielounge@gmail.com. So definitely reach out if you want to be a guest. If you have an idea of what you want to hear, let me know. So with that being said, this episode is going to be why you should thank the people who have hurt you most in life. And so this is, again, from my favorite book, one of my favorite books, 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think by Brianna Wiest. I think this is going to be a good one. I think a lot of the times it's easy to operate an ego and be upset at the people who have hurt us and not take the time to thank them for the experience and what that experience essentially should do for you in your life and on your path of growth. If you are on a path of growth and emotionally, spiritually, etc., you will know that you are going to have times when you're going to get hurt. And I think I mentioned this before in a few episodes, but there was a TikTok that I saw of this woman. She was saying, like, if you know what your goal is, say it's to get married or be in a committed, loving relationship, and when you receive a rejection of any sort in that department, you should be happy because you know that it's just pushing you further to where you need to be and to get your goal, which is that relationship, bring you close to the person that's right for you. And so a lot of times we operate ego and we get upset about the person that has hurt us, right? But we really should be thanking them because you are releasing me to go where I want to be anyway, with the person that's going to give me what I want, how I want it, and I won't have to worry about being hurt by them or leaving. So let's get into it. It says, again, why you should thank the people who have hurt you most in life. Number one, the people who were able to hurt you most were also the people whom you were able to love the most. We aren't profoundly affected by people who aren't already deeply within our hearts. For someone to have that much importance in your life is sacred, even when it goes askew. It's a gift to know someone who was able to truly affect you, even if at first it didn't seem like it was for the best. This is, I think, of like heartbreak, right? Especially if this is not your first heartbreak. If you've already had your heart broken before and you've tried again to be in love and be in a committed relationship with someone and that doesn't work out, while it may be hurtful at the time, it's for the best because, again, it's going to push you to where you need to be. And it's also it should be very reassuring to you that you still got it, right? You still got it in the sense of you still have that desire to love, and that though that heartbreak did not break your heart to the point where you no longer can love, right? And so if you want to be in love and you want to be in a committed relationship, that's your goal, then you should be happy and thankful that you had that experience with that person, because it's just reassuring you that you still have the ability to accomplish that. And everything happens for a reason, and at the moment, before the hurt, you were happy. That's why you were in love with them. That's why you were committed to them, or you enjoy their company, or whatever the case may be. Whatever the form of the relationship was, you were happy at one point. So you can still be thankful and wish them well, and wish them, a lot of the times I think that when people hurt us, they don't even really realize how they hurt us, or that they have hurt us, because they are themselves hurting as well. Right? Hurt people. We hear that all the time. And a lot of times those people don't even know that they are hurt because they've checked out within themselves. And that's something that you should really, be thankful that you're not involved with anymore, and pray for them, because, we as humans should not be checked out of ourselves emotionally to the point where we are hurting other people and hurting ourselves. And in the end, you are still hurting yourself when you hurt someone else. So those people need guidance as well, right? And they need healing as well, and they need grace from us. And that's one of the most mature things that you can do, is offer grace to someone who's hurt you, to offer them peace, to still offer them love, and wish them well. That is one of the most emotionally mature things that we can do as humans. It doesn't have to happen right away. You can heal yourself, or within your healing, you can be able to go through the emotions that occur when we are hurt, and eventually get to that place to wish them well. Number 2, difficult relationships often push you to change your behavior for the better. In feeling helpless, you learn to take care of yourself. In feeling used, you recognize your worth. In being abused, you develop compassion. In feeling like you're stuck, you realize there was always a choice. In accepting what was done to you, you realize that nobody has control at the end of the day. But in surrendering the need for something we'll never have, we can find peace, which is what we were actually seeking in the first place. Love that. Definitely difficult relationships, difficult situations push you to change for the better, right? Heartbreak, typically, there's a quote from Erykah Badu, who I love. She says, let me quote it correctly, because it's about heartbreak. It's about getting your heart broken over and over again. So 1 second, find it. Oh gosh, hold on. All right, let me try to find it. It's basically about saying that the heart breaks until it can't be broken anymore, right? And essentially, when it can't break anymore, that means that it's open. Your heart is always open. Maybe you protect it to an extent, but it's always open to love. And you prevent yourself from receiving forms of love. I can't find the quote. Oh, okay, sorry. It says, well, she didn't say it. It wasn't necessarily from her, but I saw it on her Twitter. She says, God breaks the heart again and again until it stays open. And the source is unknown. But essentially, I like it because it's saying, God will allow your heart to be broken over and over again until it stays open. And when it's open, you will receive the love that is right for you, because you are open to receiving and giving it without any restrictions, without any stipulations, or trying to make someone go through something first or prove themselves. It's just you're open to love. You're a loving person, and you're open to love. What you give is what you receive. The energy that you put out is what you will receive. And so the more that your heart is open, the more loving state you are, and the more love you will receive. So number 3, what you learn and who you become is more important than how you temporarily feel. That relationship may have seemed almost unbearable at the time, but the feeling is transitory. The wisdom and grace and knowledge that you carried with you afterwards aren't. They set a foundation for the rest of your life. The ends far outweigh the means, and to be grateful for what you've been through is to completely acknowledge that. So, it's definitely important to any relationship that you have. Remember, no matter how hard it is, during the heartbreak, hurt, breakup, whatever the case may be, whether you're the one breaking up or they break up with you, or mutual, whatever, that there's always a lesson to be learned, and there's always some knowledge to be taken with you. Not necessarily, it doesn't even have to be, again, to the next relationship. It doesn't have to be a relationship after it. It's more so about what you can take with you with a relationship with you. In the sense of whoever you were within that relationship, hopefully you grew. and the experiences that you had have taught you more about yourself, whether that be things that you are great at within relationships and also things you need to work on, and also how you treat yourself, how you love yourself, because all relationships are a reflection of ourselves. So if you are in a relationship with someone who does not respect you, you typically don't respect yourself in certain ways. And this person is showing that to you, not only just for you to understand that you subconsciously don't do that for yourself. Maybe you don't stick up for yourself. Maybe you don't advocate for yourself. Maybe you don't believe that you really deserve the things that you want. And so this person is reassuring that, not necessarily to tell you that that is right, but to tell you to look at that and change that and believe the opposite. Believe that you actually do deserve better than you do deserve the best. You do deserve to be treated respectfully and loved the way that you want to be loved. And so when you acknowledge that, then you are able to release that relationship and know that you have to go to something that's better and more aligned with what you want. And with that, you are learning a lesson, spiritual lesson for yourself. And so you are expected to carry on that confidence that you have gained within that relationship situation to the next relationship and just in your life in general. So allow yourself to be grateful for what it is that you have experienced and what you learn within a relationship, and take it with you. Number 4, you don't come across these people by accident. They were your teachers and catalysts. In the words of Joybell C, we're all stars that think they're dying until we realize we're collapsing into supernovas to become more beautiful than ever before. It often takes the contrast of pain to completely appreciate what we have. And it often takes hate to incite self-recognition. Sometimes the way light enters us is in fact through the wound. So, again, I think this is important because everybody you meet is not by accident. Everything happens for a reason, whether it be for a short period of time or they're in your life for a long period of time. It's all a lesson that needs to be had, and your soul is attracted to their soul for a reason. You both know deep down that you need each other to complete a lesson, complete a contract that you came here for, whether that be emotionally, maybe your last life you didn't learn self-respect or boundaries or whatever the case may be. This person is going to teach you that. So everybody we meet is for a reason. Everything is happening. Again, it's already written. We're just playing out the part. So just go with it. Number 5, even if it wasn't your fault, it is your problem, and you get to choose what you do in the aftermath. You have every right to rage and rant and hate every iota of someone's being, but you also have the right to choose to be at peace. To thank them is to forgive them, and to forgive them is to choose to realize that the other side of resentment is wisdom. To find wisdom in pain is to realize that the people who become supernovas are the ones who acknowledge their pain and then channel it into something better, not people who just acknowledge it and then leave it to stagnate and remain. This is very important. Something that I mentioned before. No matter how much you don't want to, we have to learn to forgive the people who have hurt us, because they are hurting too, whether they realize it or not, and whether you realized it or not, right? That is, to me, it's just sharpening your skills of being keen on really get to know people first. You should, the more and more you are in tune with yourself, and the more you are able to recognize emotions within yourself and within others, you're able to see this person's hurting. Listen to people. That's what they say all the time, especially when you're dating someone and getting to know someone. Listen to them. Let them talk. Listen to how they speak about themselves, about their family, about other people, about their past relationships. It'll give you a very good insight into whether this person is right for you, whether this person is healed, whether this person is emotionally available, what their views are on love, relationships, and how they treat other people. And that's going to be a very big impact of how they treat you. So if what you hear is not making you feel like this is what you want, pay attention to that. And you don't have to, you're not there to fix, we're not here to fix anybody. People got to fix themselves. So a lot of the times you have two choices in that instance. You can hear what they say, and if it's not matching what you like, you can wish them well and go on about your way. Or you can stay and try to be the superhero that changes them, when in actuality you will never change them. People change. I don't even like to say people change for who they want to. People change when they're ready to change themselves. People change for themselves when they know that when they get tired of being a disappointment or being disappointed, when they're tired of running in circles and avoiding themselves or other people, or avoiding their feelings, or avoiding growth, or just the things that they know that they need to deal with. So you can never change someone. People only change themselves for themselves to get the things that they want for themselves. And they know that they're able to recognize that, hey, if I want to settle down one day, or, I want to be in an actual committed relationship, I got to be emotionally available. In order to be emotionally available, I got to deal with the crap that I was in. I got to deal with the relationships that I was in. I got to deal with that hurt. I got to release that. I got to deal with my emotional unavailability within myself. I got to deal with my childhood wounds. I got to heal that so I can be able to be in the relationship that I want to be in. So again, that's a personal choice. And some people choose to never heal, and they just keep living in the same type of trauma over and over again. And that's their choice. You make the choice of what you want. Number 6, the people who have been through a lot are often the ones who are wiser and kinder and happier overall. This is because they've been through it, not past it or over it. They've completely acknowledged their feelings, and they've learned and they've grown. They develop compassion and self-awareness. They are more conscious of who they let into their lives. They take a more active role in creating their lives and being grateful for what they have, and in finding reasons for what they don't. So I like how it says that they go through it. When I not past it or over it. When I think of that, a lot of times I used to be like, I'm over it, but I wasn't over it. I was ignoring it, or I just jumped over it, stepped over those feelings, even though they're going to eventually still come back around anyway. But when you go through it, you're going through it, so you're allowing yourself to basically walk through the pain. When you're walking through the pain, you're going to have the pain on you, but you're also going to have it cleanse off of you as well. Because once you walk through it and get to the other side, you are no longer going to not come across it, but you have cleansed yourself of those feelings. And even if they come back again, it'll be for a different reason, not for the same relationship reason, right? Or tied to that person. It's more so about going through it so that you don't have to be tied to the feelings that come with that person anymore, or that relationship, or whatever that has hurt you. A part about those feelings, they're no longer within you or on you. So it also says that you're just more compassionate, you're self-aware, and you also are selective and more conscious about who you let into your life. That is a very big one. It's not about being closed off. It's about you, when you get to a point of healing, when you respect yourself and you love yourself so much that you are willing to be single and you are willing to be alone rather than be around people just so you have friends, or just to have a date, or have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a relationship, or just to have these certain forms of relationships within your life. When you are content with, I'd rather be on this journey alone until I come across people who genuinely deserve my time, to genuinely deserve to be in my place, in my life, right? Because you have to, I don't believe it's being pompous. I don't believe it's being self-righteous. I believe it's being, you are advocating for your higher self, but you also respecting your higher self, and you are loving your higher self completely by having this mindset. When you know that you are a king or a queen, you are of the higher self. Higher self it should make you think of like the best of the best. And to be with the best of the best, you got to be the best of the best. And so think of yourself in that term, and keep that in mind when you are evaluating who can be in your life. And it's okay if people don't measure up. They can either do the work to measure up to be with you and your higher self, or they can get left behind. And there should be no types of ill feelings on your part about that, because you are looking out for you. Again, you are responsible for your own heart. You're responsible for your life. So if you want the best, then you have to only be around the best. So just keep that in mind. Number 7, it showed you what you do deserve. Those relationships didn't actually hurt you. They showed you an unhealed part of yourself, a part that was preventing you from being truly loved. That's what happens when we finally get past hurtful experiences and terrible relationships. We realize we are worth more, and so we choose more. We realize how we blindly or naively said yes to someone or gave them our mind and heart space when we didn't have to. We realize our role in choosing what we want in our lives, and by experiencing what seems like the worst. We finally acknowledge that it feels so wrong because we deserve so much more. Again, when you start to learn who you are and your essence and how much value you hold to yourself, and make other people recognize that, and if they don't have the ability to see you in that same aspect, that's completely fine, but you don't have to be around them. And you don't have to give them access to you in any form. You don't have to say yes to someone just because they ask. If you see that they don't measure up to what you want, you can decline. And sometimes, it may start out with them seeming to measure up, but then the more you get to see them, or certain situations come about and people change, we evolve. And sometimes what they evolve to is just not doing it for you. And that's okay as well. Again, you have to be open to the idea of evolution, as I said in the previous episode about comfort, right? Always be ready to have that evolution, to have those transitions, to have your comfort zone, so to say, to be changed. And so with that comes about like, hey, I no longer accept that, or I no longer find that attractive, or I no longer want to be in that type of relationship. And that's okay. You have to always honor what it is that you want in your heart and what's going to make you happy. And always get what you deserve. This is your life. And whatever you have to do that, get that. Do that. Whether that even be really what it should be when you're dating and considering relationships, you have to really show people how to treat you. Even though we all know how to treat people the right way, but everyone is different. Some people might accept or be happy. This certain thing might make people happy, whereas it doesn't really do it that much for somebody else. So to learn that, you really have to show people what makes you happy, what you deserve. If you deserve and you feel like you deserve exquisite, dates and stuff like that, then you have to be able to provide that for yourself and show that that's what you want, right? So really just showing people what it is that you want and what you deserve, and knowing what you deserve. And sometimes you have to learn what you deserve by getting what you don't deserve, right? So if you're in a relationship that was terrible because you weren't being loved properly or loved out loud, and that could teach you that, hey, my love language is words of affirmation. My love language is receiving gifts, or physical affection. So within those relationships, within the relationships that you have, you learn what it is that you deserve, and what you deserve is what makes you happy, and only you can figure out what makes you happy. And so the last one, number 8, truly coming to peace with anything is being able to say thank you for that experience. To fully move on from anything, you must be able to recognize what purpose it served and how it made you better. Until that moment, you'll only be ruminating over how it made things worse, which means you're not on the other side yet. To fully accept your life, the highs, lows, good, bad, is to be grateful for all of it, and to know that the good teaches you well, but the bad teaches you better. So, again, coming to peace with things is not just about saying like, oh, I'm again, we're saying we're through it. We'll go through the emotions, go through the heartache, the good, the bad, all that stuff, the memories and stuff like that. And once you come out to the other side, the only way you can really come out to the other side is to allow yourself to thank yourself and thank the other person for that experience. Again, keeping in mind that at a certain point you were happy. That is what you wanted. And even though it didn't turn out to be what you thought it would be, or measure up to be able to maintain what you wanted, at a certain point it was an experience that you enjoyed and what you want and what you were happy in. So being able to fully thank all parties involved within the experience for the experience is pretty much the last, what it's saying, like the last level to get to the other side. And not have any resentment for that person, for yourself, for the relationship itself. You know, it's even a part of emotional maturity of saying like, oh, you know, that relationship was horrible, right? Or that relationship was the worst. I wish I never met them. You should never say that, because it taught you something. And if you hadn't met them and you hadn't experienced that relationship and had that experience with them, you would have never had the good moments and the bad ones that taught you how to become a better person. And so you have to thank them, because that experience, that relationship, whatever it is that happened, taught you, hopefully, to be a better person, to be a better lover, to be a better partner, to be a better friend, and to be better to yourself. More importantly, that's the main relationship. Like I keep saying, is that the most important relationship is the one with yourself. And through these relationships with other people, they are mirrors to ourselves. When you are with someone who treats you badly, they're showing you that maybe you don't always treat yourself badly, but there's something that they are doing that's triggering you to recognize that, hey, I don't like being treated like that. But maybe internally or subconsciously you treat yourself that way. And again, people learn how to treat you by how you treat yourself. So just keeping that in mind and being able to recognize and look at them as a mirror and say, okay, how can I go within and fix this? How can I go within and heal this? Because I don't want this wound. Really, when you're upset with that person, you're not really upset with them. You're upset with that part of yourself. And you are trying to subconsciously figure out, I don't like that part. I don't like that. I don't like how we do that. I don't like how we treat ourselves like that. And so it's your intuition, your soul trying to teach you like, okay, we don't like this, but we got to fix it, because we're going to keep coming across this and we know what we want on the other side. So let's just tap in, feel this, go through it and heal it, so that we don't have to potentially, hopefully, deal with this again, right? And create another similar wound like this. So I think overall you gotta just be grateful for the experiences that you have, no matter how you think they are, good or bad. And you gotta thank people for maybe not fully say, hey, thanks for hurting me or breaking my heart, but thank you for the experience. That's really what it is. Thank you for the experience. Thank you for the experience that has taught me now how to love myself better. Thank you for the experience now that has taught me to recognize that, hey, I actually like being taken out on dates and treated with the highest, most respect. I like someone being fully into me and committed to me and aligning with what I feel and what makes me feel complete within a relationship. Things like that. So hopefully this was helpful. And it makes you think about, certain relationships or situations that may have hurt you, but don't hold that grudge. Don't hold that pain. Pack light, let it go. Don't forget about it. Take the lessons with it and go on, and just love on yourself more and recognize it and know how to pick better. And, honor your higher self and what that means and what it is that your higher self deserves. Get what you deserve in this life, if anything. Hopefully this was helpful. I am your host, Chanel. This is the Black Hippie Lounge podcast. As always, meditate, manifest, invest in you. If you can, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Black Hippie Lounge. You can on those pages, there's a link to my website where you can purchase t-shirts and hoodies. If you are interested in being a part of ads on my podcast for your business, please DM me and let me know. And if you're interested in being a guest, let me know. Yeah, hopefully you have a great week and take care. Meditate, manifest, invest in you. Join me on my spiritual journey as I elevate myself and like-minded listeners to a higher level mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for listening. This is Black Hippie Lounge, and I am your host, Chanel.